first question for you is, what was the problem you were having before you discovered Valhalla?
I have struggled and fought fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue and depression most of my adult life. I just have severe fibromyalgia is basically arthritis of the soft tissues. So you just are in chronic pain. And then chronic fatigue is just feeling like no matter how much sleep you get, you just never feel rested. And this kind of was triggered, my youngest daughter, when she was 1, she had so many food allergies that just manifested. And it was really, really hard. It was really, really stressful. I had to check labels for everything and learn how to cook and give her that kind of food. So just extra stress kind of triggers my immune response. And I've also struggled with some kind of major health issues. I spent 7 years ago, I had a major complications from a hysterectomy, and I ended up spending a month in the hospital and a couple days in ICU. I was septic, and I had a dozen abscesses, and I hemorrhaged, and it was just a lot on my body, that trauma. And hormone changes put me into kind of a spiral for severe depression. And I was just, keeping my nose just barely above water. I'm a middle school teacher. I love what I do, but it's very emotional. It's very intense, especially the last couple years. And I had also suffered from a category M TBI, traumatic brain injury. I suffered a really severe concussion. I fell on the ice, also about 7 years ago, and just severe brain fog. I would get lost driving. I'd leave the gas on the stove while I was cooking. Just a lot of things that were kind of dangerous. And so my family really stepped up for me, and they really helped out taking care of some of that load off of me. But at the time, I honestly thought, how am I going to get through this? I was there. Just every single day was a struggle. And I had actually been doing some research about red laser light therapy, and I came across an article in the Deseret News about a man from Utah who he and his wife were in Boston serving a church LDS mission. And he had been a former football player, and he suffered severely from probably significant CTE and depression and things. Anyway, I had read this article and I thought, that is exactly what I need. Well, many years go by, and last summer, almost a year ago, this past week, I tore my Achilles on the last day of school playing kickball, the faculty versus the kids. And yes, we did win, but I tore that Achilles, and oh my goodness, that just kind of put me kind of over the edge. I was so down for missing my whole summer. I spent it 90 days in a basically a boot and crutches and a scooter. I couldn't swim, I couldn't bike, I couldn't hike, I couldn't fill my bucket with all those things. Anyway, Dr. Tate had just moved down the street from me and his family, and I had gotten to know them that previous year. And so when I tore my Achilles, I had called him, and he said, I can help you. And so that started my journey. We did a lot of treatment, a lot of lights, the wand on my Achilles. And at my 9-month checkup, my orthopedic doctor cleared me for activity, swimming, biking, whatever I wanted to do. And normally it's 12, 14, up to 18 months before you're fully cleared. And I credit the lights for helping me literally get things going. I've been doing this for about 8 months regularly. I'm fully running, jogging, sprinting on my ankle. My depression is lifted. I feel the best that I've ever felt in probably 20 plus years, for reals. The other thing that's really significant for me is that anybody, they'll ask me, they say, oh, you look great, what are you doing? Because my life, I've gotten healthier and I'm eating better, I'm exercising, of things that I haven't been able to do with my fibromyalgia for a long time. Because of the lights, I have more energy. Because of the lights, my depression has lifted. And because of the light, I feel like I can gain my life back in my activity level. I've been able to join the gym. I've been going regularly. I went and got a health coach. She's been helping me with my diet and changing those things. I recently, in the past few months, I've lost 5 pounds. But I've lost 5 pounds of fat, and I've gained 5 pounds of muscle. So I feel stronger. It's just, I honestly feel like I have my life back. For me, it's miraculous because not everybody gets that second chance. Not everybody gets to feel better. And I've been able to enjoy my family more. I've been able to, last summer we went to Yosemite and I went hiking and biking, and we've been to the Grand Canyon, and I've been able to do these things with my teenage kids where normally I would be in bed and I'd be watching them live their lives on the couch or sitting by the pool. And so these lights have literally given me a life back. And for me, it's very symbolic. It's very symbolic of light in our lives and the good, and taking that goodness in and being able to reflect it back as we live our lives the very best that we can for our families, for each other. And it's just been transforming, empowering. It's been wonderful.
Take me to the moment where you knew this was working.
I knew from my very first visit, and I know a lot of people don't get that. It takes several weeks to, reduce the inflammation in their body or in their brain. But for me, the very first visit that I had, I felt a lift mentally and emotionally. It was like somebody had opened the drapes and I could feel light and energy and a complete lift of my mood. And so I knew from then that I was going to stick with this. I just rearranged my budget and do some different things, trying to find ways that I could keep coming to make sure that this would be something that I committed to. And then I just tell everybody else about it because it's been incredible. And it's been very rewarding to see other people's journeys and their lives improve too, as you walk this path with others who have struggled.
What is it that he tells you?
Well, usually when someone approaches me, especially living in this valley, we've lived here for 22 years, and I'm a school teacher, and so I have connections, and people have kind of seen me in my journey and what I have gone through, and they will say to me, "You look great, I haven't seen you for a while, what are you doing?" And I will always say, "Well, let me tell you." And I tell them about Dr. Tate and Valhalla and these lights and what it's doing for me. And it's been really rewarding and fun to see other people come and see their journey and their life change, for them to get the mobility and the energy and the clarity that people suffer when you have chronic illness. I think the other thing for me that really resonated with me is that I have a science degree from BYU, and so I understand a lot of biology and physiology, and I was an athlete all growing up. And when Dr. Tate really showed me the research and really, I asked more maybe than some people would ask. And when I saw he shared with me the research studies of the thousands and thousands of research of people that have had, brain injuries, whether it's through football or other concussion, post-concussion type issues, I know what it's like to suffer from that when your brain just isn't functioning. And I previously, as I was going through my own concussion healing, I was able to find an organization called loveyourbrain.org, and it was set up by a skier, a snowboarder, Kevin Pierce. I believe that's his name. And he and Shaun White were like vying for the Olympics of who was gonna go. Well, Kevin suffered a severe accident and brain trauma, and they didn't think that he'd survive. And so he battled, and anyway, he started this Love Your Brain, which is, meditation and yoga, and that really helped me in my healing journey. It was kind of like, little bread morsels that you get along the way until you come to this full circle. So I had really struggled. But when I found the research that Dr. Tate shared with me, it was a done deal. And so then I knew that this is what I wanted to pursue. And then after that first visit, when I felt so good, I was all in. No hesitation whatsoever, because I felt like I had been led as my life would have these baby steps and baby steps and baby steps to bring me to this moment today. And I think that's very indicative of people who have struggled with depression or chronic illness. It's not like there's just one single thing that improves your life. There are many facets that come together, but I would say of all the things that I have tried, and I have spent thousands of dollars trying to find healing in my life, these lights have been the number one thing that have really given me my life back. And I think it's just, the saying, the proof is in the pudding. Like when you see somebody who's gone through what experiences they've had in life with health and depression, and you see them, and it's been so rewarding to see my friends who have truly struggled, to see them here when we come in for our visits, and you just glorify and you just celebrate what it is that it means to be on a journey to healing. And it's a beautiful, wonderful thing. I'm so grateful.